Back at the Cajun Nationals at Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as you recall, we thought there may have been some problems with Dale Boldy's car in the last round of Funny Car. Let's join Steve and find out.
Here at Dale Boldy's pits, he and his partner Mike Hamby have taken a parts inventory, and the decision is what?
We're not going to go up for the next round. It's we can't really pinpoint the problem of what's going on, why the car keeps it's burning bearings out of it. It's not an oiling problem. We think it's a problem somewhere in the clutch or the tune-up or something like that. And it's plagued us this weekend. It's plagued us on and off before. And we're just going to take everything all apart and see if we can go through the fine-tooth comb and see if we can find the problem.
Before you have a fire.
Yeah, I already had one here not too long ago for the same thing. And I lost one car. This car doesn't rightfully belong to us. We're borrowing it till our other car is going to be finished in about 3 weeks. And I hate to take a brand new car and turn around and give it to this guy and have to build another one. But I just don't want to see anything bad happen out of it. We've been very fortunate, and I think we just better call it quits for the weekend.
A big break for Billy Meyer. He'll get a bye run. In addition to the professional racing that we've been covering here at the Cajun Nationals, there has been sportsman competition throughout the weekend. The sportsman categories include all types of cars. The racing very close, in some cases, actually handicap racing, where one car gets a physical head start over the other. In stock eliminator, Harvey Emmons III from Pasadena, Texas, driving his Camaro, defeated Mike Cotton of Tulsa, Oklahoma in the final for stock eliminator. In super stock eliminator, Larry Morgan at the wheel of his Pontiac Trans Am in the near lane matched off against Jackie Ray Pascal from Pasadena, Texas. Morgan out of Columbus, Ohio, squeezes out the win at the finish to take home the super stock eliminator title. In super gas eliminator, a red light at the starting line for Roger Warren gave the win automatically to Eli Lopez from Irving, Texas. The dragster of Gary Wenzel in the far lane, racing against the opal of Roy Johnson. Wenzel from Indiana, Johnson from Tennessee. This is competition eliminator, and Gary Wenzel is the winner. In top alcohol funny car racing, Dave Sebring of Kent, Ohio, won his first ever NHRA national event title, defeating Bob Newberry of Schenectady, New York. In the sister category of top alcohol, dragster Dennis Forcell won his second NHRA national event title, defeating Bubba Sewell. Forcell from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Sewell from Spring, Texas. A close race at the finish line. Dennis Forcell, the champion. In our final sportsman category, we find Tom Bowling in the far lane from Seminole, Oklahoma at the wheel of his dragster, losing out to Rodney Horton from Fort Worth, Texas in another very close race. Rodney Horton, your Super Comp Eliminator champion. We'd like to offer our congratulations to all of the Sportsman Eliminator champions at this 1984 edition of the Cajun Nationals Championship. Let's go to the Top Fuel pit area and join Steve Evans.
Ron Tobler, John Muldowney, and the Shirley Muldowney crew are so good at changing engines. They do it so quickly that by the time we got here, the new motor was already in. Ron, why this particular engine? You had your choice of a few.
Well, we had two in the trailer, but this particular one was a little more complete than the other one. It had a clutch and a bell housing, so it was a little more ready to go. It's our #1 spare.
Anytime you go to the starting line with an untested motor between rounds like this or during a race, what concerns you the most? What can go wrong the quickest?
To tell you the truth, Steve, there's not a whole lot really, because it's a motor that we've run before, but we took it apart, put it back in the trailer, so it should perform just like it did the last time we ran it.
We'll be watching for the Muldowney car as we get into Top Fuel racing a bit later on, but right now the factory hot rods are in the water box. Bob Glidden driving his brand new Ford Thunderbird, and we took a look at that car at the start of this program. Bob Glidden from Whiteland, Indiana, the winningest drag racer ever in NHRA championship competition. Here's another tough one, the defending world champion, Lee Shepard from Arlington, Texas, driving the Chevy Camaro of Rare and Morrison, proudly wearing the big #1 on the side of that Camaro. This is the classic factory struggle. The Ford versus the Chevrolet. The engine's limited to 500 cubic inches. 2 carburetors. They must run on gasoline. Total weight of the car with driver, 2,350 pounds. After that, practically anything goes. And it's a red light for Bob Glidden. He puts himself out of competition, and Lee Shepard takes the win to advance to the finals of Pro Stock Eliminator. Shepard, with a 7.81 second elapsed time at 176 miles an hour, wins the race. We watch again at the start, and you can see Bob Glidden leaving just a hair too soon, and that big red light indicates just that. He left too soon. Here's the other matchup in the semifinals. From Totowa, New Jersey comes Frank Iaconio in the near lane. From Blacklick, Ohio, Butch Leal, formerly known as the California Flash, now driving for the Rod Shop. Frank Iaconio, number 2 in the world last season out of his home base in Totowa, New Jersey, is making a strong bid to take home the World Championship this season. But he has got to get past Butch Leal, and Leal has the advantage off the starting line. Iaconio drifting close to the center line. He backs out of it, and it is Butch Leal going into the finals with the Pontiac Trans Am. A big upset as Iaconio down to defeat 7.86 seconds, a speed of 178. So it is Butch Leal against Lee Shepard in the finals of Pro Stock Eliminator, coming up shortly at the Cajun Nationals in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Next up, the semifinals of Funny Car Eliminator. Funny car racing at the Cajun Nationals, the semifinal round of competition in the hometown favorite, Mark Oswald, the #1 qualifier at the wheel of the Candies and Hughes Pontiac. He is racing against the upstart, the underdog, Jim Head. He's got a lot of experience on the racetrack. He has great equipment under him. In fact, he does a lot of the work himself. The two cars virtually identical. The same chassis builder, Al Swindle, responsible for the design of both cars. So, it is a lot of experience at the hands of Candies and Hughes. The driver, Mark Oswald, having been down that racetrack many a time in both Top Fuel and Funny Car competition. For Jim Head, not quite the experience level that is there with that Candies and Hughes entry, but he is in the semifinals. It doesn't matter to him how he got there, and it is Mark Oswald up in smoke. Jim Head extending his lead into the finish line, and what an upset. The #1 qualifier down to defeat Jim Head, a very safe 6.08 seconds at 245 miles an hour, as we watch again and see exactly how Mark Oswald lost. A little bit of a wheel stand and then instant tire smoke. The car losing traction, and all Mark Oswald could do is keep it straight, keep it from hitting the guardrail, and watch Jim Head win the race and move into his first ever NHRA Funny Car Final. A huge crowd stunned by the upset as the #1 qualifier and the big favorite going down to defeat at the hands of Jim Head. So it will be Jim Head against this car in the finals. Billy Meyer receiving a bye run. Dale Palde pulling out because of mechanical problems. Continual difficulties with the engine on the Henby Palde car puts him out of competition, giving Billy Meyer the single. The all-important question here is, will Billy Meyer run this car hard in this round of racing? He does not have to, but if he has the low elapsed time over the 6:08 of Jim Head, he gets lane choice in the final. A great run thus far. Billy Meyer headed to the finish line, and there it is. Low elapsed time for Funny Cars, 5.81 seconds. Billy Meyer has lane choice in the final. Let's go to Steve with Jim Head.
Your crew is going to be very, very excited. Now's the time you're going to have to calm everybody down and take a very careful approach to the prep for this final.
They're good. They really are. I mean, they're not the known names, but believe me, they're very, very good. Well, they're the only reason I'm here. There's no question about it.
May not have a lot of flashy chrome or a corporate logo on the side, but it's in the final, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Jim Head, one more round to go.
Top Fuel Eliminator semifinals. Joe Amato, the fastest car in all of drag racing. His wife, Jerry, backing him up into his own tracks. Joe Amato, in qualifying, ran over 263 miles an hour at this event and set a new NHRA national record in the process. As you recall, Joe Amato was running Funny Car wheels and tires in the first round of competition, but here against the pre-race favorite, Gary Beck, Amato has taken off those big wide tires and put back on the slender, narrow racing tires that he normally uses, trying to gain that little bit of an advantage. Gary Beck out in front. Something goes wrong with Joe Amato's car, and Gary Beck into the finals for the second year in a row. And look at that elapsed time, 5.53 seconds, and a very sad Jerry Amato watching her husband go out with mechanical failure, done for the day. Let's go down to Steve Evans, who's with Billy Meyer.
Now you have to be concerned with the track changing. Is if it cools off a little bit before the final, it could be another ball game yet again.
Well, I think what we did that last run, Steve, I don't think that anything could screw us up now, except me or my guys, and hopefully we're okay.
Okay, Billy, good luck.
Billy Meyer, the decided favorite going into the finals of Funny Car Eliminator against Jim Head. The winner of this race will decide who meets Gary Beck in the finals of Top Fuel. Will it be Shirley Muldowney with a brand new engine sitting between the frame rails, or will it be the car owner of Gary Beck's car, Larry Minor? Minor won this race. He is the defending champion, and it appears that he has changed front wheels and tires also, going to the slender, skinny front tires, trying to gain every bit of performance advantage. Larry Minor in the far lane, Shirley Muldowney in the near lane. The cars inching their way ever so slowly into those staging beams. And the tree goes green with Larry Minor out in front. And Minor pulling away to a big lead in the engine. Let's go. You can see the supercharger shedding parts as he comes through the timing traps. 5.59 seconds. His speed, 253 miles an hour. But a very surprising and unusual engine explosion for Larry Minor. As he approaches the speed traps at the finish line, the supercharger literally explodes. If you've ever wondered what it looks like from the other driver's point of view at over 250 miles an hour, watch from Shirley Muldowney's viewpoint as the engine explodes for Larry Minor. Lots of problems for the Minor crew.
Boy, Larry, that must have had your ears ringing for sure.
This is getting to be an expensive sport.
That's a lot of superchargers this year.
Yeah, that's 2 at this race for me, plus the one in Ed's car.
Now, the final round, you would race your guy, Gary Beck. Would you bother to fix this car?
Oh, I think the fans deserve another engine in this thing.
All right. You heard it from Larry Minor. We'll have a 2-car final.
Steve, that 2-car final is just like it was last year. Car owner Larry Minor, his driver Gary Beck. That's the Top Fuel final coming up in just a few moments at the Cajun Nationals.